I think I spoke on most of it last night as far as just, my pleasure or just happiness with the team to, go out and compete all the way through the game, 60 minutes. We knew that was going to be a really tough game for us on the road, and especially a team that plays so well in the second half. We knew that was going to be a 60-minute game, and I think the guys did a great job of just staying focused in those situations, whatever came up, and trying to play to their best of their ability when those situations arose. So certainly there's a lot of things in the game that we got to fix, we got to correct, continually trying to improve through September, eliminate the mistakes, eliminate the things that are putting us in bad situations, and like I said, just try to fix those as we push forward and get better. So that's what we're doing right now. We had a good meeting here this afternoon, and kind of trying to get our corrections. And like I said, we got a big week coming up, and we're gonna have to get things a lot of things cleaned up here before obviously Kansas City comes to town. So, but we're excited. I think, again, the players, they're working extremely hard. They care about each other. They're trying to do things the right way, and they're pushing each other every single day. So that's great to see, and we just got to make sure that we improve as we go forward. So, just back to work, back another week, and just grinding it out. So that's part of the NFL.
Do you have any update on Slay and Daniels?
I have no updates as far as those guys are concerned. They're just kind of visiting with our doctors and running through the normal kind of 2-day process here after the game from that standpoint. And, we'll see as the week goes on.
Is Blake's foot the same foot as last year? They gave him a problem?
I do not believe it's the same foot. Nope. So different deal.
Special precautions because he's had a foot injury before, or just because it's different?
No, I think it's all different from that aspect. That's why they're just trying to evaluate it as they go through. Yep.
You talk about corrections. What do you look at in your running game? What sort of light at the end of the tunnel you might see there?
Sure. Which side? I think on the offensive side, you're talking about our offense. Both. We're looking good at both. I'd say the run defense and the run offense. I think part of that's, where we're trying to make a lot of corrections, a lot of changes. I'd say offensively for us, there's some really good blocks in there, there's some really good plays, but just not enough consistently all the way across the board. I think there's a couple holes in there that are just, those guys block things really well. Obviously give some credit to the Eagles players. They made some really nice plays too, also on some of their movement that they had up front from the defensive line. Some of that gave us a little bit of an issue. Sometimes it's just, maybe one guy that we just got to get from that standpoint, everybody on the same page. But I thought the run game, on offense, I thought we tried to run the ball, hard. I thought the backs did a really good job. We have a couple of explosive plays in there that were really nice, well blocked, and I think those guys are doing a good job of just trying to keep the run game moving from that standpoint. But for me, it's going to go back to fundamentals, and then really it will be both sides of the ball. Our run defense is going to be the same situation for us from that standpoint. We got to get it better. We know we're working at it. I got to coach it better. I got to improve the techniques and the pad level overall. It's just something that was consistently we got to keep the point of emphasis on from that standpoint. So I think the run game on both sides is something that we're always talking about early in the season and trying to improve it as we go, and just trying to get some consistency with it. I would say that's probably the biggest thing.
And, you guys have had 4 different 100-yard receivers in 3 games and a different leading receiver every game. Just what sort of stress does that put on a defense when there's so many options that you can, anybody's capable of having a big game like this?
Well, certainly, from the other side of it, when you look at an offense that can do that and put that kind of production on, as a defensive coach, you're trying to figure out, all right, what's it going to be this week, from that standpoint, or what's the game plan, or how do things move. Certainly for us, I would say offensively, it's just been good to see guys step up in those situations. I think, again, week to week it's different in the NFL, and defenses are different, and they'll try to do different things to take certain players out of the game plan and try to force the ball in a different direction. And I thought it was great to see, particularly yesterday, Marvin step up and make some really nice plays and really kind of just be on the same page as far as what we were trying to get done. To be honest with you, he's had 2 really good weeks of practice. I think this is stuff that we've seen every day through the course of the last couple of weeks, of that consistency in his play style. And, it's just great to see it show up in the game. It's when you put that much amount of work into it and you work that hard, and then, you want the guy to be able to go out and perform well on Sunday. So that was real positive from that aspect of it for him. But I think offensively, we know whatever it takes that week, that play, that game, that particular situation, we're just going to do the best we can to go out and execute the play and go through the progressions and try to get the ball to the guy that we think is either open or hand it off to the play that we think is going to work in that situation, and certainly give credit to Matt Stafford to be able to go through all that and find the right guy in those situations. So that's good from that standpoint. We're still working through and trying to get better on all of it, but that was a positive.
I said to Bill and I, but you feel like teams are
kind of maybe forcing you to pass to win? It seems like you guys are getting an inordinate amount of 8-man boxes against the run game. Are you noticing that over the first 3 weeks where maybe teams are almost giving you that?
Yeah. No, not necessarily. I would say just in general, I think defenses right now in the league are kind of loading the boxes up, especially early in the season. Teams tend to do that a little bit more to try to make sure that the run game is, the teams become one-dimensional, I guess is the best way to put it. So I think we were very much so anticipating Philly to have some different pressures and different looks and different sort of ways to put, to make it real difficult on our offensive line and make it difficult on the quarterback from that standpoint. So something we kind of thought going into the game plan, really especially based on the previous couple games. So nothing unusual from that aspect of it, but just good to see us execute in some of those situations.
Really nice throws, including the touchdown. Against blitzes, his numbers overall against the blitz were very good. What is it about him in his game generally, or specific to this game, that makes him effective against those looks?
Yeah, I mean, there was 2 really good ones to Marvin. I mean, the one, where the safety's coming right through the middle, he's completely unblocked. I think you could just see his poise in that situation. He was real calm, knew the route was coming, and knew he had to kind of get the ball a little bit of time for the, for Marvin to run underneath it and make a play. I mean, that was a really great throw, great under pressure, kind of just real calm, trust it, and put it out there, and he made a great play. The touchdown is another one. Actually, the protection is really outstanding on that one. They moved the entire blitz off to the side, and really there was a great lane. It was tight coverage. They were kind of running a particular route there. We were looking for a downfield mesh, and once that came clean, he just kind of put it out in front, and Marvin made a really good catch. And again, I think that's something that goes back to practice. I think we saw some of those looks in practice, and same, our defensive guys that are out there trying to give it a look, they did a really good job this week of trying to show what those different pressures would be like in the game. And I think the more you practice it and, you see it in the game, you recognize it, you can execute at a high level. So just really, really good, 2 really good plays.
I guess that was kind of my follow-up. I was curious how you practice something like that, because you're not hitting the quarterback in practice. How do you get Stafford maybe, off like that, or simulate that kind of pressure to
Sure.
simulate a throw like that where he's leading Marvin?
Yeah. Yep. A lot of that's, it's going to be his, his natural ability, he puts in those situations. But we do try to give those pressure looks as much as we can. And sometimes in practice we'll have free runners that are coming through the middle, and he'll, play it just like a normal situation. And whether he's got to slide in the pocket and try to get around or make a throw up over the top or around, or whether he's got to get it, get the ball out in time before the guy can, go by him. We obviously don't want anybody to go near the quarterbacks in those situations, but we kind of play it in that situation where if he was going to get hit, then, this is the timing of the play. So try to just keep it as realistic as possible, obviously without the contact part of it.
On the kick return touchdown, you had a couple blocks there right at the start from McKissick and Ty Johnson. Like last year and even in the preseason, those up guys have been, you had like Bawden and Zach Center. I'm just sort of curious what you're looking for in that position and why you've gone to the 2, smaller, quicker guys there.
Yeah. Definitely, I think going through a full year with the rule change and kind of the different looks that they, that were presented last year, understand the speed and space of the play and kind of maybe what other teams have put out there for a kickoff coverage unit, trying to make sure that it's all matched up properly from a skill set standpoint. Plus, year 2 of that kind of configuration, just anticipating as we go forward a little bit more of the unusual type kicks. That will go downfield and try to anticipate some space. So it's kind of a unique skill set, but I think, McKissick, he did a great job of finding the space and making a big block. Our double team did a great job on that block, and Divergent had an unbelievable block on that play too, which kind of sprang everything, and that was from the front line. So just knowing what the matchups are, what the coverage units are starting to look like that are, for the teams that are kicking off, and trying to match it up the best we can with the return unit from that standpoint.
You guys were reasonably effective at controlling Zach Ertz yesterday, and even going back to last year, you had a lot of success against top tight ends. How much of the schematics of that carry over to this week with Kelsey?
Yeah, obviously from the position standpoint, it looks similar, but they're all just a little bit different from a player standpoint. he's unbelievable. This guy is he's a major problem. I think Ertz is a great player, and he's definitely somebody that's been a staple for their offense and someone that's a go-to guy for him. And we'll have another huge challenge for us this week with Kelsey. I mean, he's a guy that just you can put on the backside, and whether it's a linebacker, a safety, a corner, that I don't think they really care who's over there covering him. They're going to give him the ball. Another big guy, huge catch radius, and just someone that's so consistent. So a lot of great tight ends in this league. They're trouble every single week. We got to face them. So we're going to have another big challenge for us as far as that's concerned. But definitely just dynamic players in that position. Certainly.
How do you guys mind your secondary outside of Slade? Just if Slade can't play or whatever, what do you think of the rest of the guys in the secondary? How they've been playing, especially Melvin, Mike Ford yesterday, some of the cornerbacks.
I think those guys competed really hard yesterday. That was obviously when Slade went out, we had to just make some adjustments and go out. And Mike went right in, stepped into the middle of the mix, and played really well. And Justin Coleman really competitive. Made some huge plays at the end of the game, and a couple of those drives there that was pretty big. And Sean Melvin's he's one of the toughest guys we have. I mean, he just goes out in those situations and doesn't panic. There's no anything other than just trying to do his job at a high level. So, proud of those guys in those situations. But all those guys are ready to go. We have different ways that we can cover, from that standpoint, whether it's mans or zones or combinations of both. And we just kind of try to do the best we can with whoever's out there based on who we have to defend. So, that's a great group. They're working really hard. So we'll just keep going from that aspect of it. But I thought at the stretch, those guys, Tracy Walker's another one. I thought they made some really big plays at the end of the game.
After the game,
Go ahead.
as a defensive-minded guy, I'm just wondering how much you're looking forward to trying to contain what Kansas City does and the game plan and whatnot.
Looking forward is probably an interesting statement there. Andy Reid's unbelievable. He's a great coach. Mahomes is a special talent, and they've got a lot of great players. So it's going to be a long week. They're just they're phenomenal. They're one of the best teams in the league. So it'll be a huge challenge for us.
After the game, you addressed the team. You told them, this is the NFL. Welcome, and you said, you're trying to instill, a winning culture and things like that. Do you start to believe that this team, the locker room, after winning back-to-back games, really believes that they can go out, game in, game out, and really beat anybody?
I think these are very, very competitive people. Very, very much so want to win and want to do the things the right way. So I think we truly believe that if we put the work in every single week and we go out and we approach it the right way, that we should go out and be as competitive as we can be. Certainly, like I said, this is the NFL, so there's great teams every week and things can go either way pretty quickly. But I think the group's working really hard. I think they're trying to do everything they can the right way. We got a long way to go to get better, which is our biggest thing right now. We just got to get better so we can go play competitively, consistently. So, but those guys they're trying. They're a great group right now. They're working extremely hard.
So do you have the fullback hurdle built into the playbook, or is that kind of a God-given ability, kind of situation?
Interesting diagram on the playbook right there where he jumps over the guy. That was a little bit of a surprise. I think it surprised a lot of the guys on the field too when that happened. But everybody was excited. It was a good energy boost, I think, for everybody from that standpoint.
What did Mike Ford do during camp and early in the season to earn your trust to be that guy who not only made the team but got put in a big spot like that?
I think Mike, obviously having him last year and knowing that he has a really good skill set. He's also somebody that does a lot on special teams for us. So someone that we trust in those particular situations of special teams play, knowing that. He's going to be at the game. He's going to be, a major contributor in that phase. And if something happens that we're going to have to go out and play defense, he's ready to go from the mental standpoint and the preparation standpoint and all that stuff. So he works really hard at that. And I think he's long, he's fast, he's got some good speed and good reactionary quickness, but still learning, some of those receivers that he has to go cover. Those guys are pretty savvy, pretty veteran from that aspect of it. So he was ready to go. We knew during the week he was going to be up for special teams part of it, and something happened defensively. We're always trying to prepare for those situations that when they do come up, that whoever's got to go in has to go in and perform at a high level.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is the first time since 2011 that the Lions have been undefeated through the first 3 games. Is there any element of that you can enjoy at all?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we got Kansas City rolling in here, so I don't got much enjoyment right now. Gonna go finish up here with the team, and you know, we'll as a team enjoy this probably for a couple more hours, but we got to turn the page. That's how it is. So appreciate it.
Teams, you know, so my legs were fairly warm and fresh and ready to go. Just, you know, you're on the sideline, you're with the defense, and you're sitting there, and you're watching, you're seeing, getting the corrections just like those guys are. So you just always got to be prepared and be ready to go out there and play.
Is it a different level of preparedness, though, that you have, you know, because you're not seeing it live, you're not getting those game reps, it's more mental reps, and then all of a sudden they're the physical reps.
So it's for sure more mental reps than it is physical, because like you said, you're not out there, but you know, you kind of get a gist of just seeing that stuff. You can get a feel for the game without necessarily being in the game, and then you also have those other guys that are out there actually in the game, and they're coming back and they're giving you feedback on the other guys. And you know, me being a guy that knows that I have to be ready for any type of situation, you know, so I'm sitting there and I'm picking those guys' brains and asking them, you know, what are you getting from this guy? What are you getting from this guy? Just so I know that I can be prepared and be ready to go in.
And you've been put in a couple of those situations early this year. Just how much does that help in the preparation and kind of moving forward that you've had some of it?
Yeah, I would say, you know, being put in those situations from previous games, you know, it kind of calms you down and it gets you ready. You know, already know what to expect, and, you know, you kind of gain that confidence over time. You know, when you do things repeatedly, you get confidence. So.
How do things change for you this week with Darius dealing with, you know, the hamstring, whatever?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily know Darius' status, you know, so I'm just taking it day by day like I do every week and just trying to get better every day and just come out and compete and be ready to, you know, play if my number's called.
Do you prepare as a starter on it? And if so, what sort of challenges does the Chiefs offense?
I mean, you prepare, like I prepare every week as if I'm a starter, you know, being the next guy up. So you just keep staying prepared and being ready to go out there and make plays. So.
Mike, what do you take from this game after looking at the film today?
I would just say, you know, we have a tough team. We have guys that are willing to come out and compete, and we're just a tough team. So just got to continue being tough and continue watching the film and evaluating ourselves and getting better every day.
Did you watch a lot of the Chiefs when you were in college at SEMO? It must have been on TV locally then, right?
Oh, yeah. Growing up, that was my grandpa's favorite team. You know, my dad's favorite team was, of course, Detroit. That's why I'm here. And that was my grandpa's favorite team, the Chiefs. So I have a lot of background watching those guys and just seeing those guys. And then one of my old teammates, he got drafted there last year. So just, you know, keeping up with him, I kind of get a glimpse of those guys.
How much does it fire you up as a defensive back to face an offense like that challenge, and to rise to that occasion?
Oh, yeah, when you get a challenge, you come and you want to seize the moment. So it just motivates you to, you know, come out there and go as hard as you can and make plays.
So how good is that offense?
I would say it's a good offense, you know. You can't shy away. You give credit where credit is due. So, yeah, it's a good offense, but I feel like we have what it takes, you know, to come out there and compete and give them a run for their money. So.
Mahomes, is it the speed? What makes that offense special?
I mean, you know, the quarterback, he was MVP last year, so he's a great player. And then just having those versatile players, having those players all around him. So just being able to put the ball wherever he needs to be able to put it, and have those guys, you know, he has weapons. So just as a whole, it's a unit.
Times, I think, and in high school as well. And in high school, I actually got a flag for it, so it came back 15 yards. But, yeah, I have before.
So what was going through your mind after the leap? Because it sounds like you kind of caught yourself by surprise a little bit. I mean,
yeah, I was fired up. I mean, I got up and tried to do a little dance, and Danny came over and gave me a high five, and just happy we got the first down. Try to keep the ball moving.
Was that just pure reaction, or is that something you're setting up as you're approaching the tackle?
I'm not going to give away any secrets about it. Just trying to make a play.
Can you break down the tape for us? How was the leap?
What's that?
Can you break down the tape for us? Like, what'd you think of the leap? What would you give yourself?
I got high enough to get the first down.
What was your hang time?
I'm not sure. It felt not like that long.
What the guys have to say on film today about it?
They're pretty happy I got the first down. I mean, it's just trying to move the chains and keep the ball going, trying to score some touchdowns.
I see the hat that you're wearing.
Oh, yeah.
Are you on a mission to make the fullback position here in Detroit really, really relevant?
Trying to do whatever I can to help the team win.
How do you approach that?
Oh yeah, definitely defensively. You want the best opponent, obviously, to go out there and prepare well, put a great week together, and just go out there with your brothers and kind of accept the challenge. So. We understand, the challenge that's coming in. They got a very high-powered offense, can definitely make a lot of explosive plays. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we're looking forward to it. So
perhaps an opportunity to make a statement that Detroit's defense is.
Yeah. We don't got to make too many statements. We just we understand we got in the locker room. So, you know, whatever we do Sunday is not going to prove as far as, you know, what we're capable of. We understand that, so but we want to prove it to ourselves as far as challenge ourselves this week in practice, and then go out there Sunday and, you know, kind of perform for everybody in this locker room. So.
I know that you guys don't feel like as a defense you've put together a four-quarter consistent game, but what does it say that you are still undefeated and you haven't played anywhere near your best yet?
Oh, yeah, we definitely understand that. We understand we got a lot of work to do, and, you know, that's the fortunate, you know, observation as far as, you know, not having any losses, but, you know, understand we still got a lot of work to do. We can still be a lot better, so, you know, we're going to continue to work hard and, you know, try to put together our best performance.
I know that every game is just one game and all opponents are the same during the regular season in the NFL, but when you get the Chiefs coming in, a team that's undefeated and has such a prolific offense like they do, how much does that energize you? How up do you guys get for that?
You know, I get energized for just every game. You know, you get the opportunity to go out here and, you know, put a great week together and then perform on Sunday. You know, that's obviously a blessing. And but, you know, looking forward to the Chiefs as far as, you know, the challenge that, you know, they face as far as being a high-powered offense and, you know, just kind of stepping up to the challenge. I mean, you got a lot of guys in here, you know, working hard each and every week. So, you know, it's going to be fun just to put a week together and, you know, go out there and try to execute as best as possible.
Trey, you had some pretty epic battles with them in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
What makes their offense special?
You know, they got definitely skill position as far as, you know, the wide receivers, the running back, running game, passing game, offensive line. You know, you just pretty much name it as far as offensively. You know, they got weapons. So definitely at the quarterback position. So, you know, it's just one of those offenses that's, you know, definitely unique. Obviously, you know, like you said, dealing with them past few years, you know, you see a lot of misdirection and see a lot of things that kind of attack your initial instinct, but, you know, it could be going the opposite way or things like that. So, you know, it's definitely a great scheme that they got, and, you know, they got a lot of great players to run that scheme, so it's going to be a challenge. So.
Their speed, too. I mean, they're like
oh, yeah.
the fastest team in the league.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I didn't say that. I'm sorry. Yeah, they definitely got speed. Yeah, so it's definitely a challenge, you know, speed, the scheme, the IQ, you know, definitely got weapons, and, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. So.
If someone were to ask you what the main key is to slowing or stopping that offense, what would you answer?
Man, I can't give y'all the secret right now, you know, but I think just, you know, us playing fundamentals, you know, we're going to work on our fundamentals this week, and we're going to work on our technique this week, and we're going to work on our, I guess, speed this week. What else? Working on endurance this week. You know, limited penalties. A lot of things that, you know, we can work on, you know, this week as far as that, you know, can help us play the best game possible. So, yeah.
Trey, I don't know if you were asked this before, but you had 8 tackles, but and you guys get the win, obviously. How would you size up your play yesterday and the defensive line as a whole?
My play, I did all right. Definitely left a lot out there. You know, I think, you know, I'm working. So, yeah. But as far as you said, defensive line as a whole, you know, we working. You know, we're going to continue to work. And, you know, obviously we got a lot of work to do, you know, but we working. Yeah. Quick scouting report. Nothing really quick about it, but he's pretty good. You know, I guess you could say that he's pretty good. He can make plays. He can extend plays with his feet. He can, you know, buy some time. He can definitely throw it down the field. He got a lot of weapons around him. Got a great offensive line that's protecting him. He's pretty good. Yeah.
A lot of people get excited, fans, when they see him looking one way and throwing the other.
Yeah.
Left-handed passes. What do you as a defensive player? What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, obviously, you know, he's a make a play type of guy. So, you know, when you see him out there making plays and, you know, you just understand that, you know, he's pretty good. So, you know, it's cool, I guess, to look at, yeah.
He's the reigning league MVP. I mean, is he, you've faced some good guys, Rivers, obviously, Wentz so far, but is he on a different level right now than those guys?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a lot of top-tier quarterbacks in the league, you know, and, you know, he's definitely had a great year last year, and, you know, he's having a tremendous year this year. So, you know, just understanding, you know, the significance of, you know, what type of player he is and, you know, how dominant he is, how, you know, how he's willing, like I said, to make a play and things like that is going to be very important this week. So.